Okay, welcome to the second episode of So Far, So Odd. Hello. Happy New Year to everyone.
But that's okay.
We're
a little late.
But it's okay. We've had a couple technical issues, but nothing we couldn't get past.
Yeah.
So on this episode, we're going to be talking about a couple things. We're going to be hitting on our trip to Changsha, where Hayley was on a Chinese game show. And we'll be talking about when we went to the Shenzhen Safari Park and fed giraffes and tigers.
Yeah.
We'll also be talking about when we went to the Oil Painting Village in Dafen, where Hayley was painted. That was fucking weird. And we'll also hit on some.
Like these stories are all about me.
Yeah. Well, not at the safari park, but yeah. And we'll also hit on what we are doing in the next week and what we've been doing in the past couple weeks at school. We'll talk about some school shit. Yeah. I think people want to know how we teach.
More of our daily strubs.
Yeah. Got a lot of letters, and people are like, "Oh, Taylor, you gotta tell us about what it's like teaching little Chinese kids." It's a blast. Sometimes.
Most of the time.
Yeah, but anyways, before we do anything, we have to start with
A question that we got.
Yeah, a question that we got from my friend Willie Baker, and he wanted to know why we came to China. How did we end up here? And I know we were just wandering around, and I was like, oh shit, I think we're in China. Is that how it happened?
Totally.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Well, now I'll let you take the story.
Okay, so it all started back in 2015. I studied abroad in Italy, and I had these two really amazing advisors, and they had traveled to so many different places and done so many things, and I really looked up to them. Shout out to Amelia and Maddie if you guys are watching. I miss you guys a lot. And so I remember telling Amelia, I was like, I really want to travel, but I just don't see an option. I'm like, I just have so much debt. There's no way I can go anywhere without like having a job. And she was like, well, I taught in Japan she's like, I went for 1 year and then I ended up staying for 5, and I just loved it so much. She's like, you should really look into it. And from that point on, I started researching, and then finally I was like, okay, if I don't get a job when I graduate, this is what I'm going to do. And so I ended up getting a job at Meyer, and it was a really great job, really great place to work. I learned a lot of things, and I met a lot of really amazing people. And unfortunately, back in October, they went through a company restructure and laid off over 200 people. And it was a big surprise.
Let people go.
And I remember thinking, okay, what do I do now? And that's when it just hit me. And I was like, oh my God, now I can finally do this thing that I had wanted to do before, that I was putting off because I would say, oh, I'll just do it later. Well, now was later. So I remember it took me like a week to work up the courage to ask Taylor, because I had mentioned it to him previously, but
when we first started dating.
Yeah, but it wasn't like, oh yeah, like I want to go for sure, like we need to do this. It wasn't like that at all. It was just kind of like, hey, I had this thing that I wanted to do before, and I was like, it's just really cool. Just more or less just informing him about it. And so finally the day comes. I chose right before he had to leave for work. Perfect time to ask someone a very serious question.
Always breaks things to me before I have to go somewhere. Like, lots of people are like, oh, hey, just saying bye. And she's like, oh, by the way, I fucking killed your cat. I'm like, oh, shit.
Yeah, because, I love killing cats. So Taylor's about to leave for work, and I just look at him, and I'm like so nervous. I'm literally sweating. And I'm just sitting there, and I'm like, okay. I'm like, hey, babe. I'm like, so do you remember when I told you about how I wanted to go teach English in another country? And he was like, yeah. And she's like, well, you know, since I got laid off, I figured, oh, well, I should just go do that now. And then I was like, at that point I had decided, I'm like, I'm going with or without him. And he was like, and I was so nervous. And then finally I was just like, I hope that you want to come with me. And he was just like, yeah, I'm down.
It's like, that's so.
And he literally said it as if I was asking him to just go to the store. He was just like, yeah, I'm down.
Go to
just
China,
so
pick up
I
some
was
milk.
so nervous for literally nothing. And it just, all he said was just those 3 words, and was like, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, well, it was easy choice for me. I had just finished school. Finally, I was in school for the better part of the decade. So I was like, I guess to do something like this would be a better time now than once I start, you know, getting a more real job. So easy choice. Yeah. So now we are here.
Yeah.
And
shout out to our company Teach ESL China with Dan Henriksen. He really hooked us up with a great company, great school, and he's also just a really cool cat.
yeah,
Yeah.
cool cat. Yeah.
Looking forward to working with him more.
Yeah. So that was how we got here. So we'll do a little story from the vaults. Maybe about 2 months after we're here, 3 months, we decided to go to the safari park. And the safari park is known for having this one section where you can get in these little safari cars and go into this big ass enclosure and feed tigers. But that's ahead. That's getting a little ahead. Before we even got, our journey started really before we even got there, where we get on the metro, right?
Oh, God.
Get on the metro to get there. And it's kind of a far ways. It's at the end of one line, Chiwan.
Yeah, something like that.
End of that line, and so it's like a half hour, 45 minutes, metro ride. And we're getting closer to the end, maybe about 10 minutes. So we're gonna be there, and the car had emptied out. It's just Hayley, I, some older lady next to me, and this dude,
Chinese dude, just like chilling
about 10 feet away from us, posted up next to a pole. And I'm just looking on my phone. Haley's looking on her phone. And as we're getting closer and closer, he's kind of getting closer and closer to us. But I actually thought, I was like, oh, he's with this lady. That's why. And then he says something to the lady next to me, like, I imagine the translation to be scram. I don't know. I don't know if that's what it was, but it was something like that, because she just kind of like got up and was like, oh, and walked away. And then now I'm like looking at my phone like, oh, I don't know.
Oh, God,
I'm not sure what's happening
say?
here. And he sits down next to me and he starts chatting us up very innocently, very nice, chatting us up. I think he was a realtor. And he was just interested
it was a really
in
average.
why we're in Shenzhen. And but he kept on like talking to us for a very long time in English, and then being like, oh, I'm sorry, my English isn't that good, I don't understand. It was weird because he could understand, and then it was like he was choosing not to in some parts, and which plays into the story later. So we're like, yeah, we're going to Safari Park, and now he said he was going to work, right? Does he say he was going to work or something?
Yeah, that's what it sounded like, because he was like, what are you guys doing? And I was like, oh, well, we're going to the safari park. Mm-hmm. And I was like, what are you doing? Because, it was like noon on a Monday. Yep. And he was like, I'm going to, I think he said he was going to work.
Yeah.
Or he was at work or something. I don't know.
Yeah, he was at work, maybe on a lunch break or something.
Yeah.
Anyways, so we get off, and he's kind of like walking with us. And if you've ever been to any zoo, usually when you get close to the zoo, you can see the big archways, and there's, usually animal sculptures and stuff. You can tell you're at the fucking zoo. So we're like, oh, okay, cool, we're here. Later, man. And then he just keeps on walking with us.
And we thought, though, that he was just showing us
we're like,
how to get there.
We can see it, but then he's like, oh, I don't understand. We're like, well, you just understood, like, describing, like, housing situations to us, but you understand that we're saying we're good. Fine, that's fine. He was being nice. And then it's like a really long, like, walking through the parking lot at, like, the Detroit Zoo. It's kind of like a long parking lot. So walking up that, and we get to the front, we buy our tickets, And I'm like, okay, well, he's still with us. And then my man buys a ticket too. We're like, wait a minute, do you work at the zoo? Because if you work at the zoo, like, you should have told us and gotten us discounts. But he didn't work at the zoo. So we're like, okay, now what? And there's nobody else there because it's noon on a Monday.
I'm sitting there trying to tell him, I'm like, oh, no. I'm like, just me and him. Like, we're just on a date, like, to the zoo. Honestly, I was just trying to be nice because he was nice up to that point.
Nice, yeah.
Other than, following us into the zoo. But.
Yeah, like, niceness goes a while until it's, like, a little creepy. But anyways, we start walking in, and at a zoo, there's only two ways to go, usually. You gotta go this way, because most zoos are in a circle of sorts.
Yep.
And if you go left, we'd like immediately be hitting like the penguins and shit. You don't want to start off with the penguins. You want to work way smaller with maybe they had a couple little
chicken enclosures.
Chicken enclosures. They love these chicken enclosures. It was weird. A lot of farm animals, but like not in a farm
10,000
animal
peacocks.
section.
There was literally like so many fucking peacocks. There's like 50 peacocks.
Those peacocks.
Why?
With like not all their feathers, which
that was a little sad.
Yeah, but we'll talk about the overall zoo in a second. Anyway, so we start walking and we come to this little monkey part, and he's kind of walking by us. We're like, shit. We come to this little monkey section where there's a monkey sitting on this roof, and there's a guy like tossing like apples at this monkey, and he's catching it. It's kind of dope. And then we meet up with this group of these older people at the zoo, and we're kind of walking by them, and he starts talking with them
about God knows what.
Like, this is our chance. Because this whole time he's been like walking with us and like, kind of talking with us. I'm like, what? Why is he following us around? So starts talking with them, and I see the bathrooms. I'm like, Hayley, just go. Scram to the bathroom.
Yeah, no, I was like, just go in there. I was like, hide for like 5 minutes, and I'll meet you out here in like 5 minutes.
Yeah. And so like at that point, doesn't it kind of feel like we were the animals at the zoo? Like we were in cages
a little bit.
Because he was no, those animals were the animals at the zoo. There's some not dope conditions. Some parts. The zoo is very weird overall. But anyways, we get away from the guy. And that was really it. We saw him like a couple other times, like very far ahead.
Yeah,
so
we let him get pretty far ahead.
So I remember seeing him, and he was like looking around. It's like, oh shit.
He was looking for us. We were so scared.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there was one point at the end of the zoo where we actually did run into him. He was coming down the stairs, and he saw us, and I was like, oh no. I was like, he's gonna follow us again. And then nope. But he actually just like smiled and waved, and I was like, okay, thank God.
Yeah. So it's kind of an exhilarating way to start at the zoo. So if you ever have like a boring day, just find a guy who will maybe stalk you for a little bit and kind of gets your blood flowing. So that's kind of fun.
Good times at the zoo.
But yeah, so anyways, the zoo, some hot exhibits. Raccoon exhibit was very cool. There was just like 30 raccoons sleeping in a pile on like this big hammock. I mean, where else are you gonna see that? They had a cool panda, but half that enclosure was closed off, so that was...
Yeah, because they were renovating
it. So they super care about some of their animals, you can tell. Like, their enclosures are just magnificent, really great. And then there's some animals they don't give a shit about. A lot of the farm animals, a lot of, like, alpacas, anything that maybe lives in a... more plainsy area. They don't care about those. The kangaroos kind of had a shitty enclosure too. And then
there's a few animals I just kind of felt bad, like, because all their enclosure was literally like a cement
and a little bit of hay.
And it was like, there's nowhere for them to go inside. There's nowhere for them to lay. Mind you, I have no clue as to whether or not they actually maybe they bring them to a place and we just didn't see it. I have no idea. But it was just like, from what you saw, you're like, aw.
A 5-star hotel at night. They go to the
Marriott. It's kind of a barn.
Yeah. But who did have a nice enclosure? The pandas had a good one.
I don't remember.
Oh, the monkeys had some of the monkeys that had like whole islands, these whole great islands that you could walk around. It's really sweet. But then some of the monkeys, like the bigger ones, like the baboons and the orangutans, they would just have one of them, and they'd have like this whole long, like a prison, like really like an animal prison, this long walkway where they just have cage after cage with nothing in it, but just the monkey sitting there. It's like, oh, this kind of sucks.
Then I felt bad for him. Like, oh no, the poor monkey.
So like our feelings about the zoo are really mixed because
half and half.
All of that, but then you get to feed tigers.
And they have a pretty good enclosure.
Really awesome. They've got like 50 tigers in like a whole acre area, which is really sweet. So you get in the little car and they give you little pokers with raw chicken wings, and the guy puts it on there. What, it was like 30 kwai or something? 60 kwai to go on the ride?
No, it was 100.
It was 100? Worth it.
100 each. Oh, yeah,
It was
totally
sweet.
worth it.
These
I mean, because you get to feed the tigers, you get to feed the lions. Oh, also, we cannot forget the infamous ligers. There are ligers at this zoo. They are real people. Believe us. We
Hayley
saw them.
told me, she's like, oh, they got ligers at the zoo.
He was like, no, they're
I was
not
like,
there.
shut your mouth. Those aren't real animals, babe. They're not real animals. Turns
They
out
are.
they are real.
They are.
They have a liger and a tigon.
The liger, honestly, it looks like a female lion with like really, really, really faint stripes.
Yeah, it's faded. It's faded stripes.
Yeah, it doesn't. I mean, it's not like
I
super
didn't get
spectacular.
super good look at the tigon, but
I don't remember.
yeah. They had some other
That one
cool
just looks
big
more-
cats. They had some other cool big cats, big panthers,
Yeah.
leopards. Some really beautiful leopards, and jaguars.
Yeah.
Then a fennec fox. That was cool. Those little foxes with the
Little
huge
white
ears.
ones with the huge ears.
Yeah, those are
cool.
great. But and giraffes. They have a really great giraffe enclosure, like 10 giraffes, and you can get a bunch of food to feed them, and they come
Yeah,
over, they
that was
reach
so
their
much
head
fun.
right over.
Just,
We
like,
had a
lick ya.
pretty good video of that.
Big-ass
We'll
tongues.
put the video like right here. So that was really great most of the time. But then there was like this dude. There was a bunch of kids there feeding the giraffe, and they were super nice, just hanging out there. The tongue would come down. The kid would be like, ah, it's very funny. And then there was this dude next to me who just started throwing the food like at the giraffe's like head, and I just like stopped and I looked at him. What are you doing? What are
Yeah,
you
we
doing?"
gave some dirty looks at the zoo that day.
Yeah.
So there were some people messing with the zebs too.
And they had a water park at the zoo, which that's the last thing I wanted to do. But hey, I guess don't knock it till you try it. I haven't. Maybe that would be cool to take a little, elephant shit. Let's take a dip. I don't know. Could be cool, but we didn't hit that up. There was a bunch of middle schoolers in there, and that's
Not
like
even
my
middle
top 5 least favorite thing to do is water park with a bunch of middle schoolers. Yeah, that's a piss wave pool, babe. So, that was the Shenzhen Safari Park. I'd give it out of 5 stars, a 2.5.
2.5.
And 1 star for
Meh.
the feeding the
Oh,
tigers.
sorry,
1
I'd give it
star
a-
for the giraffe. Half star for
I'd give it 3.
3 stars.
What was that?
3 stars. Oh, it's new Bluetooth speaker.
Speakers,
Okay,
making
so
sounds,
another
technology.
tale from the vaults. We will have like a cool graphic. It was like tale from the vaults. I don't know. Around the same
We'll see.
time, around the same time. So that's a thing to do in China when you have a little bit of money. Go to the Safari Park,
Yeah.
get some animals. But there was a period where we had just paid for our apartments and got
A million other things.
all this other stuff, and we didn't have any money, and so we're like, what are some things that we can do for free? And one of
Or
those things,
super, super cheap.
yeah, or super cheap. One of those things was go to the Dafen Oil Painting Village, which is this whole like neighborhood of just artists who they either have their own shop or they're just outside just painting
Chilling,
away,
painting, yep.
doing some really gorgeous work. They're notorious for being able to paint any type of painting that you bring them. You can bring them a picture of a Van Gogh, bring them a picture of like a Dali, and you can bring it to like the right guy, and they can redo it like
Yeah, it's crazy.
line for line. And they're there outside teaching kids too, how to paint. You can bring in like photos of your family or anything.
There's also like really cute cafes and stuff there. I mean, you can just, it's a really just like chill place to just go, to spend like an afternoon walking around, getting a coffee, maybe taking a painting class. I'm sure you can do that.
Yeah, it's one of my top 5 places to go back to because you can spend so much time there and you can get a lot of really cool stuff. I know if anybody comes, I'm definitely going to bring them there and buy a bunch of paintings for them to take back. This was very interesting. But something kind of funny happened right when we got there. We were having a tough time looking for it. But then when we did eventually find it, the first place we go into is this cool little red building with the picture of the artist whose building it is, and then like a sign that says like 1 + 1 = 3. I don't know. That was about. But we go in there, and I see some like a Mona Lisa, like a Frida Kahlo, like a bunch of different paintings, and I'm like, oh, this is a pretty cool place. And before we know it, we're just kind of looking around. The lady, like manager, caretaker, maybe curator,
Yeah.
walks up to Hayley, and what does she ask you?
She's like, "Can he paint you?" And my thought is, yeah. I guess in my head I was like, oh my god, this is gonna take like hours. Like, what is he's gonna paint me? Like, is he? I was like, how long is it gonna take? And she's like, oh, it'll just be 10 minutes. And I was like, oh, okay,
sure, let's do it. Let's get into it.
Yeah.
So my man comes over. He's got his artsy overalls on.
Oh yeah.
One buckle off. That's
ready to party.
Yeah. He throws on a little boombox with some Michael Jackson playing. I think some Bowie played on there too.
Yeah.
And he's a real showman. He's doing like spins.
Oh yeah.
And walking
throwing
around,
paint
just working
all
the crowd,
around,
and people just start
dancing.
filling in.
Oh yeah.
People start crowding around, and Hayley's standing like next to the canvas, and he's like, he would come up, be like, ooh, ooh, ooh.
Yeah, literally.
Come back, do some more, do a little spin around. I'm just in the back like, oh shit, I hope we don't have to pay for this.
I know, I'm like, oh my god, is he like, I just wasn't sure because we had just arrived in China. I'm like, is he just gonna try to like haggle with us to like get us to buy this painting because he painted it? I was like, oh my god, I have no idea.
It's like, oh man, it was pretty good.
But I had this huge crowd around of people watching.
Yeah.
Like 50 people or something, just watching him fucking
Yeah,
paint
but he finished it. It was pretty cool. It's pretty great.
Yeah, I wish I would have bought it actually.
And no, they didn't make us buy it, but I wonder where it is. I wonder if he's just got it.
Chilling.
He's probably got a catalog. I think he probably does it every now and again with people, and he saw like, ooh, blonde foreigner, this is gonna get a crowd. He was right.
It did.
We'll put that video up too because he sent us this little video.
Yeah, they put a cute little clip together. It was a really good experience.
Yeah. It was fast work too. He had his buddy filming it while they're doing it, and then like 2 minutes after they were done, he had to edit it real quick on a like a little video software,
little video editor,
and sent it to us like immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah, quick work.
Yeah, it was cool.
Oh, before we get into, now we can move into this past weekend. Before we get into that, you know what I found the other day? Found another one of our trading cards. Okay, so in China,
Lovely.
there are here. One of these.
A little more conservative, depending on how you feel,
These are prostitutes' trading cards. Well, not trading cards, but prostitutes' business cards. And they will slide these underneath your door when you're staying at a hotel.
Classic.
Yeah, and sometimes this is the one we got like 100 of these when we first moved here.
That first hotel, it was like every night we had a new one.
You'd hear a little pitter patter across the doorway, and then a little, and you're like, oh, what was that? Someone leave a brochure, maybe a pamphlet for a restaurant? Oh, nope, just a horror card. And I thought there was just these ones. And at first, it kind of looks like maybe it's a realtor.
That's the way I totally
maybe it's
thought
just a
that.
realtor.
Yeah.
And we showed it to our specialist, Ivan.
He got a little red in the face.
Yeah, he was blushing. He's like, oh, it's recreational services? I'm like, oh.
He was like, oh.
A toot. Yeah, but I found another one. This one, kind of really giving away a lot of the product before anyone makes a call. But Still very cool. And I had another one around here. I found another one in a different town. And you know what you get if you collect all the cards? Hepatitis, probably. Probably hepatitis.
Oh.
Yeah, we should watch these.
Maybe just put them away.
Yeah, we'll just put them away for now. Yeah. Anyways, this past 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Little secret, we've tried to record this episode 3 times.
Yeah, we've had some technical difficulties with some sound and video and just some other things that come with the game.
But this one, we've been diligent and making sure everything is running properly. But so
fingers crossed
when
for
we say
us.
this past week, we mean this past 2 weeks. We had New Year's Eve. Where did we go?
Yeah, okay, so we went to this cute little bar called Life on Mars, owned by this really sweet British guy. We just got to spend, it was really nice New Year's Eve. We just got to spend it with a bunch of our friends. Mm-hmm. Just, it had free shots every hour on the hour.
Yeah.
And then if you were really lucky, the owner would come around and just pour shots into your mouth directly out of the bottle.
If you were like really a blonde girl.
No.
And added bonus, there was like a little kid hanging out at the bar, like a 6-year-old hanging out.
Yep.
And we'd do like he had like a little squirt gun or something, nothing in it, but a little toy gun, and so we'd be like pew, 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 back and forth.
Yeah,
and so that's cool. You can't get that in America, in most places.
So yeah, it was a pretty nice night.
Cool. Yeah, that was a nice night. And then we had a pretty normal week at school. At school recently, we have been preparing. Well, actually, you were done. I've been preparing my class.
No, I just finished them last week.
You just finished them? We've been preparing our classes for doing puppet shows and presentations.
Yeah, and plays. My school did plays. It's basically just to show their progress from the semester, just like a big show for their parents to be like, okay, look, like your kids have been learning English and like this is how good they are.
Yeah, and so at Hayley School, they did this really cool thing where they just did plays and they had the kids read the lines from the plays from like a podium, right? They had like they had like podium, music stands, and they wore costumes and they would say the line, they would walk up, and very good, easy, right? At my school, they're like, fuck that. Let's have the kids make shitty little paper bag puppets, and instead of doing a whole play for each of your class, let's make each of your class do 2 plays. So when you practice, you have to listen to 2 groups of kids practice separate plays at the same time, like a nightmare. Just listening to 2 kids practice plays Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer in this year and Frosty the Snowman in this year, and just paper bags just being ripped and tossed all around. So that was a joy for the last month, but the culmination the culmination of it all was this past couple days, and it went all right. My first one went as terrible as it could go. The kids, when they tried to actually do the play, the table's here, and they had to read the play like this, but then also reach their hand up. Well, that was my youngest class, and they weren't tall enough to sit and do that, so nobody could see any of their puppets. So you could just see like the top of them. So you'd have just like, there was only like a handful of parents there sitting there, and they'd pass around a microphone. So they'd be fumbling a microphone, and some kids would get the microphone and just yell into it. And so you couldn't hear what they were saying. And some kids would be too far from it, and you couldn't hear them either.
I love it.
And so I'm just sitting there like looking at their parents like,
this
good,
is
right?
Great. This is great.
My other 2 classes after that, they killed it. Actually, they did it really well.
I was really proud of my kids too. They're wonderful.
But I had my older kids. I had them because all of your kids did the play. My older kids did presentations.
Oh no, actually, I did have 3 different plays, but then I also have a baby class, which is literally like 3 and 4-year-olds. It was just an open class, and it actually went really well. I did it last Saturday, and the parents loved me. I got all A's on my assessment.
You had an assessment they assessed you?
Yeah, they did.
Oh, I haven't had.
They marked me like boom, boom, boom. This bitch is awesome.
To give some context, we work in separate branches. She works at a branch called the OCT branch. I work at Shangmi-Hu,
OCT is the shit.
And my branch has just like 3 teachers there, and one of them is leaving. I'm kind of like the big boss there now. I'm fucking big deal.
That's actually true. That's true.
She's medium-sized fish in a big pond. I'm fucking.
Don't talk shit. I'm killing it.
She's
mostly because I have blonde hair.
But anyways, so I teach G1 to G22 level classes, and that means that they all my kids read at between like an American grade 1 to grade 2, but they can range
a little bit higher than that.
No, that's why they have the G1 and G2 scale, because it means grade 2 and grade 1.
Really?
Yeah, that's the level it is comparing it to.
Oh, I feel like my G2 kids are reading like this crazy ass shit.
Well, I think once you get deeper into G2 too.
Maybe not. I don't know.
Once you get deeper into G2 too, like G2 4, aren't you doing G2 4? Anyways.
Yeah.
The ages I've got, but the ages can be different for each.
Yeah, it just depends on their English level.
So I've got some kids in like my top class who are like 6 or like 7 or 8, like Victor. But then some kids in that same level who are like 11.
Yeah,
11 or 12. So those are it can be
so
varying.
like 7 to 12.
Yeah,
but I
7,
mean
12.
Same diff basically.
So it can vary. But yeah, my top kids, my G2 kids, I have 3 classes of that. I had helped them prepare presentations, like PowerPoint presentations on topics like how do animals survive. So talking about animal hibernation and camouflage, migration. And some of them did really well. Some of them, it's hard like working with kids every day, having them write a script and then putting it onto a PowerPoint, and also having to teach a whole lesson plan that day too. Yeah, it was a little tough, but most of them did pretty well. So that's what our immediate past week, but we kind of did something a little bigger than that than just teaching. Where did we go?
Changsha.
We went to Changsha last weekend, 2 weekends ago.
2 weekends ago now.
2 weekends ago, we went to Changsha. Why did we go there?
When you're having fun.
We went there to surfboard, play video games. What do we do? Oh, that's right. You were on a Chinese game show. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's start with, how did you get onto this game show?
Well, okay, so my friend Adam that I work with, he calls me like 15 minutes before class starts, and he's like, Hayley, this Chinese game show saw a video of me singing on Weibo, which is like Chinese YouTube. Anyways, so they're like, he's like, they want me to come on the show. He's like, they asked me if I had any other foreigner friends. He's like, I thought of you and Taylor. He's like, can you just send a quick video of you singing? Like, he's like, just be like really silly and funny, sing a Chinese song, and then have Taylor do the same thing and send it to me right away. And I'm like, they want it right now? I'm like, I can't. I'm like, I've to start class. Yeah. I'm like, there's 10 minutes. I was like, I still have to call Taylor and tell him about it. So I was like, well, I'll at least call Taylor. I'll at least do that and like let him know about it and see if he's even interested. Because then Adam also did proceed to tell me that so this was on a Wednesday that he was telling me this, and that we would have to go that weekend. We would have to do Sunday and Monday. We would go up there. And
it's 3 hours away. The town is 3 hours away from Shenzhen.
Yeah, by high-speed train.
Yes.
So anywho, so I called Taylor and I'm like, blah, 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 blah. I tell him the exact same thing. And Taylor's like, okay, cool. He's like, they want it right now? And I was like, yeah, I guess. I was like, oh, I can't do it. And I was like, okay, we'll just do it later. So anyways, we get home later that night. We do some of these silly ass videos. And honestly, I was like, this video's fucking stupid. I was like, I mean, I guess it's funny when you look at it and you're like, what the hell? But, I don't know. They loved it. They thought it was just the funniest thing on earth.
Yeah. Well, they wanted someone who could try at least where it would be close enough.
Yeah. Like I know some words.
Yeah. And so Hayley's was pretty good. She did like this rap. That's like Chinese like pop rap.
Because I'm a
song. And Hayley was like, it would be funny if you do this kind of slow jam, old like, school. It's like a kind of like really revered song. So
oh yeah, really old. Like all my kids know. They were all like, that song,
I hear it on. Yeah. So I did that one, and Gal, Adam's girlfriend, who is Chinese, she said mine was a little more disrespectful rather than funny. She said it was funny, but it was more like, looks like I wasn't. Not that I wasn't trying. That I was just so bad that like, oh shit. So I did not get on the show, but we headed out to go there on Saturday morning, and we went by high-speed train. Which, Sunday morning.
Oh, was it Sunday morning? Yeah.
Yeah, Sunday morning.
Yeah, Sunday morning, or Sunday afternoon at like 1 or something, noon or 1.
And high-speed train is cool. It's very chill.
Yep, Taylor almost didn't get off at our stop. Adam was like, oh, because Taylor had to sit separately, which the show actually paid for our transportation, our accommodation. For me, yeah. But I mean, the accommodation was fine.
The hotel, yeah.
And then food. So it's super awesome that they were able to do that for us.
Yeah.
So anywho, me, Adam, and Gal are sitting together, and
I sat like 10 cars up.
Adam was like, does Taylor know how to get off? And my phone wasn't working. I had no idea why. And then
and I'm sitting there, I'm doing like, evaluations for my kids. So I'm like writing like, oh, Mamie is a very exceptional student. I got like 30 of them to do. So I'm just hot
So
into that.
I'm like, oh my God, if my phone's not working, like maybe Taylor's is not working. I'm like, I have no idea why it's not working. I'm like, shit, okay.
My phone was working.
And then Adam was like, do you think he knows to get off? And I'm like, fuck no. I'm like, he's not fucking paying attention.
No,
I have to tell him like to go turn left. He just
like
not directionally challenged. So I get off the train and I book it up to his car because the train stops for like not even 5 minutes. And so I'm running and I get on the car and I'm like, Taylor, I'm screaming. I'm like, Taylor, get off the train. And then all these people are looking at me like, what the fuck? Why is this bitch yelling? And finally Taylor, he's like, whoa.
I was like, are you serious?
He's like,
put my laptop right.
I'm like, give me the bag, run.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we get off the train. It's all good. We got off in time.
We get there. We get into this city, and it is in the Hunan province, which is a very famous Chinese province for being the birthplace of Chairman Mao, who was a controversial figure, to say the least. And if you want to know more about him, you can read a fucking book. And it also is known for their very delicious and spicy as fuck food.
Too spicy for
everything.
Hayley.
Just has like a layer of spice. So at first you're like, this is good. They use a lot of garlic, Szechuan pepper, and something else that's always in the food, but absolutely delicious. So we get off and we start going to this town, and this town seems like it's deserted, and I don't know if it's because it's so cold or maybe it's definitely not even half the population of Shenzhen, right? Shenzhen is like 12 million or 13 million.
Changsha is 2 million, I think.
2 million. So it's either because of that, or maybe it's because it looks like we're in fucking Blade Runner. Because it's, or in like a Stephen King's The Mist. And at first I thought it looked like that because it was foggy out. But then we asked Gal and our friend.
We're like, are we in the mountains?
Are we in the mountains? Are we high up or something? Why can I not see in front of my face? I'm like, oh, that's the pollution. Like, oh, wow. In Shenzhen, sometimes it'll be bad.
Really rarely.
And it looks kind of shitty
looks a little
out.
hazy.
Well, it's kind of like more far off. You see it, or when you're really high up.
It's never bad, and it's so rare. And even like bad in Shenzhen is not even anywhere close to what it is in Changsha or Shanghai or Beijing.
It's like 4 times the amount, the dangerous amount or something.
Yeah, so like pollution. I think it's like below 80 is considered healthy
on the scale.
And then above 80 is the higher. And like Shenzhen, I think the highest I've ever saw was like 120 or something. Like it's never super bad.
What does it get there?
But then in Changsha, when we looked, it was 236, and it was like very unhealthy. It's basically like if you have to go outside, wear a mask.
Yeah. So
and we actually asked our friend Dustin who lived there, and I was like, Dustin, is the air that
we don't want to say
it's
always like that, but he said.
Yeah, he was like, no, that's
like that.
that's why, because he said it was because it's in a valley and just no air coming in and out. So it just like chills.
Yeah.
The pollution just chills down there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But we had a driver. He picked us up. He was sent from the Hunan Broadcasting Station. Picked us up from the railway station. Brought us to our hotel. We stayed at this like cool like villa-esque like looking.
Little pond.
Nice little pond around it, and it was on the same campus of the Hunan Broadcasting Station where this game show is taped at. Oh, the name of the game show is Happy Camp.
Yeah,
Also,
you can actually look it up on Google. It has its own
all over YouTube
Wikipedia page in English.
Yeah, so he takes us there, and now we just ate some bunch of delicious foods. Right? We had some
food
there.
Dropped our stuff off in our room.
Spice stuff, dropped our stuff off. But then we had to go to the broadcasting center for Hayley
a quick little
and
meeting.
Adam. Because Adam was also in this game for them to practice. And we get there, and Hayley's getting outfitted with this like traditional
Tang Dynasty
Chinese
old
gown
dress.
Yeah, the outfitting them to wear these like costumes, and then they practice the game.
Yeah, they're like, oh, we're gonna practice, and I was like, right now? Oh, okay. And it's just like, I was like with who, like how, and I just had no idea what was going on.
And do you want to explain the game?
Yeah. So the game it's called Chinese Whispers.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Chinese Whispers, and it's basically like the game of telephone in America. It's essentially like. One person, so everyone has headphones on, they're turned one way, and then the first person like sings the song with dance moves to the next person, and they only have 30 seconds, and then it's usually the foreigner will then turn around and look at another Chinese person and have to try to repeat the song and the dance moves to them, and then they have to sing it to another foreigner who then sings it to another Chinese person who then has to try to guess what they were saying or what song it was. Yeah, try and guess what it
is. Yeah. But yeah. And I don't know when they actually played it, when they taped the show, it was always songs, right?
I think so.
But when we did the practice rounds, it was not always songs. They told us, we're like, oh, what were they singing? What were they singing? Sometimes they were just saying, like in English, it would be like red, orange, green, yellow, blue.
Yeah.
And then, so that would be like somebody really saying funny, back, actually. Like, floor, bleen, blog, floor, dog. And you don't know the words right. So that's where the humor ensues when the foreigner can't
funny to watch.
Say any anything in Chinese. So that was very funny. So we practiced that for what?
I think they had us practice it like 6 or so times. Mm-hmm. Just because there was another guy there, a Hungarian guy, who
the guy who beat me out, who
beat out Taylor.
Beat out Taylor
took his spot.
For my spot.
So there was the 3 of us, and they would just have us like switch spots and try different ways and try different songs. But yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was cool. So after that, it was only like 8 o'clock, so we had the whole night to do whatever we wanted to. And so Gal said, where you want to go is the food streets in the city center, the food street and bar street. And so we go down there. And now this is when I see where our friend Dustin, who used to live there, he still like loves that place, because the downtown area is actually really gorgeous. It's very cool.
It's really cute.
I guess somewhere they have like the largest statue of Mao.
It's a giant Mao head.
Yeah.
It's just a head. It's like Dustin called it the Mount Rushmore of China.
Yeah. Oh, we didn't get to see that because we were out at night, and we had no idea where we were going.
And it was cold as hell. Like
really
we were
cold.
Not used to cold. We didn't have clothes for the cold.
Yeah.
And we just weren't prepared to be outside.
Yeah. But we go down to the food street, and this is very similar to the place I was talking about last time, Dongmen, where they have traditional Chinese street meats and other odd eats. You're seeing tentacles on sticks, weird potatoes done like 10 different ways, various deep fried mystery meats doused in like red sauces and crazy spices all over them.
Shit.
Just a bunch of stands like that. It's really fun. I love going to places like this. And chicken feet. Chicken feet.
They're really well known for their chicken feet and their stinky tofu.
Yeah, in Changsha, they're. Do you know the name for it in Chinese? In Mandarin, the tofu.
Cho tofu.
Cho tofu, yeah. But I asked Gal, I was like, let's get wild here. What's something I should try? And she's like, try the chicken feet. And so I get a bag of, they give you like a,
She said it was like the spiciest chicken feet.
It wasn't spicier than anything we had all day, but they give you like a bag you'd get like McDonald's fries in that, but they put some
like a value fry, like that kind of bag.
They put like a couple chicken feet in there, and you just take that bad boy and you just pop the whole thing in your mouth and slurp it off. That's how you eat it. That's not how I tried to eat it at first.
Yeah, but Gal educated us.
Yeah, I tried to eat it like you would eat a spare rib, but if it had like a bunch of extra fucking little ribs coming out, like trying to nuzzle around it, and that did not work. There's no enjoyment that way. Then Gal showed me. I was like, oh.
You kind of spit out the bones,
You kind of spit out the bones, but some of them kind of are so brittle. You just chew them up. But that's actually what it tastes like. The meat that would fall off, like a pot roast. It's like a slow roasted meat.
I didn't try it.
Kind of succulent. It was pretty good. Probably one of my top foods that we tasted. Delicious. You'd bag of chicken feet any day.
Oh, hello, kitty.
But sometimes they can be really bad. Don't get them from a package. I got a chicken foot from a package in our building one time when we came home drunk, and it was like fucking volcano coming out the other end. It was terrible. That was terrible next day. Anyways, so let's see what other. Oh, there was also some deep fried bugs. Every traditional
classic.
Food street, you're gonna find some deep fried bugs, beetles, spiders, centipedes, millipedes, scorpions, big and small. Gotta have both. Seahorses, and of course snake. Yes, tarantulas. Snake. I said, give me that snake. It's coiled up, and they take the snake. And I don't know if it's already been deep fried and they re-deep fry it. I don't know what's up, but they throw it back in the deep fryer again, definitely. Which they did not need to. I've heard snake is very good. This tastes like the fry at the bottom of a deep fryer. Like if you gotta clean out the deep fryer basket, and it's just crunchy as all hell.
It was way too crunchy. Like it was so crunchy that when you tried to eat it, it like hurt your mouth kind of. Yeah, it was hard to eat.
Pretty tasteless besides the spices and like a hint of fish.
Yeah, I think that was just from the old oil.
Could be from the old oil. Yeah, so that was super disappointing, but it did feel really cool, like because the snake's head's like this and it's like looking at you. So that was cool to just bite that. It was like that. So tried that. And then I was bummed. Me and Adam were kind of bummed after. We're like, man, that was fucking lame. Like, Gal, what's another cool, unique food we can try here? And that's when she's like the cho tofu, which if you're in China and you ever smell something where you're like, what is that?
And you will smell it often.
You will smell it often because it's a very popular food, but not this brand. This certain brand is different, but a lot of the tofu smells the same, and it I'm sorry, it kind of stinks a little bit.
No, it
smells like someone's old gym socks that were like
honestly
farted out through Bigfoot's butthole. I don't know.
It's bad. Yeah, it's so weird to explain how it smells.
But and it's black. They're like these black little.
It looks like it looks like a burnt marshmallow.
Yeah, burnt marshmallow, perfect. So you get it, and you get like a couple there in a cup, and you put a little skewer through it, and it's rough getting it to your face. You're like, whoa, this is nasty. And you take a chomp of it, and the outer is kind of a little tough, but then like a skin. Then you break through it. Inside, pretty delicious. You can see why they like it.
Yeah, I didn't mind it.
Tasted like wet chicken. Like wet.
I don't even know. It's
thready
like wet
chicken.
Bread.
Yes, wet. The outside is like wet bread, and then chickeny taste. It was all right, but you can like smell it through your mouth though.
Yeah.
Like once it gets in there.
Yeah.
So that definitely goes On taste level, higher than the snake, lower than chicken feet. But then the last crazy food we tried was one of the century eggs. Is these preserved?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, these eggs that have been preserved in a mixture of clay, for supposedly.
It's a bunch of shit, clay and like lime and salt.
Yeah. Supposedly for decades. I don't think it's supposed to be actually a century.
I think they sped up the process. It's now like maybe like a month or a couple of weeks or something, but it used to be like months or years or something.
Regardless, really fucking old eggs, and they're like black. And the outside, the white looks like reddish Jello.
Jello.
And it tastes just like that too.
It's green and orange.
Green and orange, yeah. And then really, the yolk.
You're like, I should not eat this.
Yeah, that part I didn't care for, but the yolk, which is black and green, pretty delicious. Like a weird,
surprisingly,
deviled egg. Yeah.
Yeah, it was actually pretty good. Like you have to like eggs in order to like it for sure.
The devil's deviled egg.
But yeah, no.
Deviled egg.
It was good.
Yeah. I like that. I came back for seconds on that one. That was pretty good. Not the whites, but all in all, that was pretty good. So I'd put that maybe just under the chicken foot. Maybe higher on weirdness factor. Chicken foot. Maybe so totally that'll bump it up on that chart. I like that a lot. So the next day, it is the time we've all been waiting for. It's time for them to get ready for Happy Camp. How are you feeling? We're walking over to the building. It's like a 2-minute walk from our hotel to the broadcasting building.
Everyone's like, "Are you nervous? Are you nervous?" I wasn't nervous at all. Mostly because my job was to be bad. Yeah. Like they didn't want me to be good, and I wasn't actually singing. So it's not like I wasn't nervous because I didn't really have to do anything. I mean, yeah, I was in front of a huge live audience and with these super famous Chinese actors and singers.
Yeah.
But, to me, I don't know who the hell they are. They're just everyday people. So it was nothing, So they were super nice too. They were really great.
Everyone's really nice. A little backstory on Happy Camp. It's like each episode is about an hour and a half. When you look it up on YouTube, about an hour and a half, and it's just like straight celebrities and this group of hosts. There's like 2 main hosts, I think. What's the main host's name? Hayley. Short guy, real diva persona. During dress rehearsal, he's had like sunglasses on and like hat forward, or like he was hungover.
He's a cool cat.
Yeah, and his role is to always, like, when someone says something, he looks at the camera and is like, oh. Then I was like, oh, this guy's saying that. And then there's like 3 other hosts. I don't know how it works. So they just do a bunch of crazy games with the guests. And the guests range from pop stars, musicians, to famous actors.
Yeah, just all these random people who do videos.
Yeah, famous people who just do web videos. And so think about it like if Jimmy Fallon's whole show was just a game section, but with just the section where they have games with a bunch of different people. But then it was also filled with a bunch of like wacky 90s cartoon sounds, right? There'd be like beep, 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 beep around your head. Yeah, the sound designer would be like like and like this little squirrel laughing all the time. Yeah. And so the designer would do it in live time. Someone need to get a hold of him because he is the real fucking star of that. It's pretty baller.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive.
I'll put in some of those sounds. They were outrageous. That's what had me laughing. So imagine if Jimmy Fallon just had a show like that, but then it's like for this one segment, we're gonna bring up this person who doesn't know our language and play this game to see how funny it is when they try to speak our language.
Yeah, it was really cool too. Like before the show, they had like these like 2 little makeup ladies. They came in with their huge makeup bags and just came rolling in, did our makeup, did our hair. Yeah, it was actually really cool.
All done up, and she gets into her costume. You get into your it's like purple gown.
Oh yeah.
Or she gets her name tag and her Chinese name.
Oh yeah, there it is. It's up there.
Yeah.
My Chinese name is Hayley.
Hayley.
And this other kid, his name was Holly.
Yeah,
so
the Hungarian guy.
I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Barely can tell the difference. So
yeah, and it's taped in front of a live studio audience. The show's not live, but they do it in front of a live studio audience.
Yeah, they actually had us do it with the audience. One time before the cameras were rolling, they just wanted us to do it just as like a show starter. They wanted us to just get the crowd pumped up, get them excited, give them something to do before the show started.
Yeah. And then I got to sit. So once it was showtime, Hayley gets to go back there with Adam and the Hungarian guy, and they go to play the game, and Gal and I and the Hungarian dude's like Chinese friend, we go up and we get to sit in a crowd. And I've kind of always wanted to sit in a live studio audience. I never thought it was going to be in China for a game show that I've never heard of and not be able to understand fucking shit. But still loads of fun.
Yeah.
So you just feel the energy of the crowd. And I just be like this the whole time.
Gal said that he was like smiling, like so proud of me.
I was like, what is happening? And the whole first like half hour, 45 minutes is the hosts introducing the celebrities, the guests, and they did like some little funny dances. Each guest did like this little dance to little pop music, and they would be done. They would do their dance, be done. The host would look at everyone, say something, and then everyone would start laughing, and it'd be like, oh, and then I'd just be standing there. I'd look at Gal. She'd go, oh, he said, yeah, this guy is blah, blah, blah. Oh, okay. This is tough. But then they do a quick little intermission, and they start bringing on Hayley's set. And Hayley's, for her game, they have this set where it's like this big fake wall with a bunch of holes where
like
Hayley curtains will, they'll walk through.
Yeah.
So they bring that on, and so I can see Hayley walking up with Adam.
But wait, the part about my mic.
Yeah. And all of a sudden, her fucking mic's on, and we can just hear Hayley start like chatting. She's like, oh yeah, it's kind of cold. It's kind of cold in here, and you can hear just like coming over the speakers.
And everyone's like,
oh, shit.
And I'm like,
shit.
I'm sorry. Like freaking out. I'm like, oh shit.
And did you get to go first? Did you go first?
Yeah, I got to go first, and I was the first in line. So of course, I was at that point. I wasn't nervous up until I got on stage, and I was like, shit. Okay, I have to be like, because you have to be like good enough to at least pass it on to the next person for them to be like, okay, maybe I can. And then
try and salvage it a little bit.
Yeah, and for me, I was thinking, I'm like, okay.
So you're the first one to get it sung to.
Yeah. And so I'm like, okay. I was like, if I just completely fuck this up, I was like, the best thing I can do is just be like super ridiculous. And so I just took it to the max. I was like, okay, well, I don't know these words, so I'm just gonna be really ridiculous with these dance moves.
Yeah,
and
very animated.
So I was.
Yeah, and you did pretty good. The crowd fucking loved it because the dance moves. Maybe you got like the first couple words right.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I got like two words right.
But it's like 3 lines, 3 or 4 lines.
It was hard because the person, they would sing the first 2 lines to you, and you'd be like, okay, maybe I can remember a little bit, and then they start singing the 3rd and 4th line, and you're like, oh shit, what were the first and second one? And then they sing another one, and you're like, okay, now I really don't remember any of it. And then you're like, okay, sing it again. You try to remember the first 2 lines, just anything.
Try to hold on to that. Yeah.
And then whenever I go to turn around, I just completely forget it all except one word.
Yeah, and then you sung it to somebody else. And was Adam with you that first time?
No, the Hungarian was, I think.
Hungarian guy, yeah. And he was, I'm pretty sure he's not going to listen to the podcast, but he was kind of shit. He would sing like 2 lines and then be like, I don't know. He's like, that's all I remember. It's like, come on, dude. Just make up something. So he was not the crowd favorite. I think Hayley was crowd favorite. Adam did very well as well.
Yeah. Well, his Chinese is the best.
Yeah, he's got actually pretty good Chinese.
Sure.
I think in rehearsal they were like, "Can you just
Can you dumb it down a little bit?
Can you dumb it down? Yeah, a little bit.
Can you suck a little bit more?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he did very well too. And how many times did you do the game?
I think I played a total of maybe 3 or 4 times because I know I was that first person 2 times in a row, and then I sat down for maybe 2 times, and then so maybe I did 3, and then I came up and I was at the end of the line.
Yeah, you went the most times, and they would start. The fucking cheeky ass host would look at Hayley, look at the crowd, say something, then
and I would hear
like
Hayley.
Yeah, it would be like Hayley.
Fuck, what is he saying about me?
Point at Hayley, and everyone would start laughing. And I was like, yeah, what are they saying about Hayley? And
I was like, oh no, they're talking
Gal says, he keeps on saying, oh, I love Hayley because
she's so cute.
She keeps on saying, oh, I got it, and then not having it.
Yeah, because every time someone would be like, oh yeah, you're fine, I'd be like, got it.
And then one of the other hosts said, oh, I love Hayley because even if she gets it wrong, or even if she doesn't know it, she'll sing you a new song.
Yep. Like, that was funny.
Yeah.
That's true. I did. I'd sing them lots of new songs. I'm sure everything I sang was a new song for them.
I'm sure. Oh my God.
New
I'd
song,
like to see this game reverse so we can just hear how ridiculous people just
We're
singing
gonna
nonsense.
Yeah, no, me too. We're gonna have a big watch party at Adams when the episode comes out in end of February.
Does that drop?
February 23rd, I think. Yeah. They said it might be moved a little farther, just depending on editing.
Yeah, and they said we're not allowed to talk about it or like post about it, but
I mean,
that's if you don't have like a VPN and you're posting it to.
Well, it's just like I think they just
China.
don't want it like WeChat, like the main like China.
Yeah.
Social media. Oh, well, and I think mostly it was just like you can't post anything of the show.
They didn't want people to know who like the celebrities were or something.
Yeah, they just don't want people to know the details. Because then obviously it gives away. It's like, okay, well, people already know about it. They may not want to watch. I think it's just that kind of idea. So.
Yeah, but it's cool show. I think it's been around for like 20 years. Like people have been, like my boss, everybody at our centers were like, oh, you're going to be, you're going to that show?
My Chinese coworkers.
I grew up watching that show.
Yeah, my Chinese coworkers were like, they're like, no, they're like, give me an autograph. They were like, oh my God, are you serious? Like you get to be on the show. I mean, people were just like, pumped.
Yeah, and we weren't allowed
Even my kids were like, what? They're like, you're going to be on that show. Let me see.
We weren't allowed to take like videos inside the studio or anything while they're doing it. But Gal did get one video, and it will have already played here or I'll play it right now. Or maybe nothing will be there. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah.
You'll find
so
out.
they play the game.
It was lots of fun. Yeah.
I had a lot of time.
Good time.
Yeah. Geoff, any final thoughts about that whole experience?
Yeah, it was a really great, really wonderful experience. It's just one of those things that money can't buy in our whole journey abroad here. Mm-hmm. It was just really wonderful. And I'm really glad that I got the opportunity and that I knew the right people and was in the right place at the right time, and it just all worked out. Yeah, it was just a really great experience. And I hope I get to like do more stuff like that in my time here. So sorry,
our cat was
minor cat
fucking
issues.
around with shit.
Actually, let me go take care of some other cat stuff. We'll be right back.
Oh yeah. So that kind of wraps up Changsha. Changsha is a whole very cool place. Love to go back there with some more people, with our friend Dustin, really show us around. I definitely liked a lot. One of our favorite places we visited overall.
Yeah.
So that brings us.
It was a really great experience.
Yeah, that brings us into Meow. What are we getting ready to do now?
So right now, we are very fortunate enough. Sorry, cat part 2. So we are very fortunate enough to have a 3-week vacation. Our week is going to be starting in Thailand at a full moon party.
Let's give them a run through. Let's see. We're going to Thailand. Where are we going first?
Okay, so we're going to the island of Koh Phangan. I'm sorry if anyone out there knows Thai pronunciations, but Koh Phangan, we're going to a full moon party, which they do every month, of course, on the full moon.
Which that's what we're going to sit around and we're going to talk about the moon and our favorite cycle, moon cycle.
It's a banger. Nope.
No,
it's just straight,
it's a banger?
Straight partying. Just people running around naked, just like ridiculousness.
Oh, I didn't know about
insanity
this.
on the beach.
Naked
music
fools?
pumping. Yeah, it's gonna be wild.
Yeah.
So we start there. We stay on that island for a couple days, and then we're heading over to Phuket, where we'll also be partying and enjoying the beach life and just relaxing, having a good time. From there, we're gonna go to the island of Koh Phi Phi, and I've already booked a Blanco. It's called Blanco Boat Party, and it's just this hostel we're staying at, and it has its own boat party. And it's actually really cool because you're drinking on a boat all day, of course, which that in itself, I'm like, okay, cool. That's actually what sold me. I had no idea it was actually going to take you to like all these different places. It's bringing you to like all these beaches and like different islands. And I'm like, oh, okay, so cool. It's a tour and drinking on a boat. Cool.
And this is the first time that
it's a full day thing too.
That I'll be staying in hostels, and I'm really excited. I hope we get like some type of altercation with like a weird guy who's trying to like collect people, and maybe there's some like horror element vibes, and I don't know. I think that'd be tight to get kidnapped for like a little bit.
Shut up.
And then have to like fight our way out.
No. Anyways, I'm very excited for Taylor because I've stayed in hostels, not in Asia, but in Europe. And it's just a really fun experience. I mean, because you get to meet people, young people your age, doing crazy,
young, cool people.
They all just have different stories, and it's just really fun to like meet them and just have a good time and party with them. And I told Taylor the other day, I was like, I'm so excited for you to see what traveling is really about. Not the party aspect, but just like really meeting people and, just really going out there and actually, because we live in China.
Yeah.
And we do travel. We travel time and we get to see new things every single day. And every day is a new adventure, but it's different.
Every day is a new adventure.
It's different. So we're going to Phuket. We're going to the Koh Phi Phi island where the boat party is. And then after that, we're going up northern Thailand. We're going to Chiang Mai. We'll be there for about 4 days. Going to do some elephant sanctuary, maybe tiger sanctuary.
But the good ones, though. Not the ones where...
Yeah, not the shitty ones where you ride them.
Yeah, don't do that because that's fucked up.
That's a nay-no. Say the nay-no to that, my brother.
Gotta say the nay-no to that. And then where are we going after that? We're just going back home?
Nope. So from Chiang Mai, we go to Bangkok. Where we'll be there for a few days. Not spending a whole lot of time there, but a couple days. And from Bangkok, we're flying to meet our friend Darren in Bali. We're really pumped about that. We're staying at some like really dope villas where it's just like a 2-bedroom. It has like
Airbnb,
a pool.
right? One of those Airbnbs.
Yeah, it has a pool and like rice fields in the background. It's like super beautiful, just gorgeous.
Yeah. And in both places, we're bringing some of the podcast gear. We're going to do some episodes from there. Hopefully, get some great
look forward to
backdrops. Those episodes will be from other countries. Very cool.
We're excited to be doing that.
Yeah, and so we'll be in Bali for how long?
About a week.
About a week.
Yep, and then we will be heading back to lovely Shenzhen.
Very cool. All right. I guess last but not least, we'll talk about some shout outs. We'd like to say thank you for everyone who listened to the first episode.
Totally, yes.
Thank you to people who shared the episode.
Shared, liked, subscribed to our YouTube channel. Everyone that did that. So wonderful.
Yes.
We appreciate you.
Special shout outs to our buddy Brandon and Jacob and my sister and
my family
and your family.
Yeah, my brother, my dad, my uncle, my aunt, everyone who shared it. And we really appreciate it.
Yeah. And if anyone has any suggestions you want us to talk about,
or questions,
any other things, since this is new, there's so many things that we have to talk about, and so we're just trying to pick and choose the best ones to like lightly get into everything. Yeah. So I think that'll bring us to an end.
Wait.
What?
I was just gonna say, on top of that, yeah, don't be afraid, of course, to ask any questions, and
Ooh,
or if you have any suggestions, or if there's anything you didn't like, you can just be like, hey, don't do that shit. But anywho, I was just gonna say, this is from a while ago, but I haven't been able to say it yet. Thank you to all of my friends and family who made that really awesome video for me for Christmas, and people who sent me Christmas cards. It meant a lot because I miss all of you so much, and it just made me feel like I was home again. So, Kitty, get the hell out of my way. Thanks, and I think
you.
that's all.
All right. Bye.
Have a good one.